Thank you. Hello everyone, hello, sorry, it paused up. If anything fails me today, it will be the technology or my voice. Can you all hear me okay? Hello Claire. Hello Stephen. Hello. Hello Brogan. Wow. It's strange, I've never had such feelings of nervousness and excitement at the same time. So, hello Stephen. Great, good. So no pressure, no, none at all. There's huge pressure. So Adam sorted out my technical difficulties, so it's lovely. Everyone's here, and I think everyone's okay. So I'll just give it a few minutes. I've got a Lemsip, thank you. I'm sorry about my voice. Lots of Lemsips, and hopefully it's going to hold out. The whole of the Great Yarmouth area office is watching. Fabulous, no pressure. Hi Katie. Okay, so I will start because I've been told 15 minutes is going to go. Hello, Adam. I've told 15 minutes is going to go really quickly. So hello, everyone. Introduction to me. So, my name is Stephani Davis. I am a housing manager at Broadland Housing Group in Norfolk, a traditional housing association. If some of you don't know where Norfolk is, we'll do that later. But we're out in East Anglia, and then we're based in Norwich. So I'm going to start with why. A great colleague of mine says always start with why, so I'm going to start with why. And that is, why am I doing this today? It's a bit crazy. So two reasons really. One is to support the CIH Futures. I'm a huge fan. I love the work they're doing, and it's a really exciting time in housing. Hi Lisa. And the second reason is because I told myself in the new year that I was going to swim against the tide a bit and get out of my comfort zone, and this is certainly out of my comfort zone. So I wanted to do it, and really for me, I really value my CIH membership, and anything I can do to support the CIH, including this, is brilliant. So thank you everyone for joining me. I feel very, very honoured that you've given up your time, and if people have given up their lunch breaks, then please eat as well, because I'd feel terrible. So a bit about me. I love coffee. I love people. I have a bit of a stationery obsession, and I've got loads of big post-it notes today on my wall, which is great to help me. Quite a sunny person. People tell me that I'm always sunny. I try to be. It's really important to me. Very positive minded. And I love my job. That's a really important thing to say. I love working in housing, and I hope that's going to come through. I think the thing about working in housing, I think that it's a real honour. You really are witnessing some really big things in people's lives, helping people when they really need it, and that's a huge honour. And I'm really, really pleased to be able to be part of that and to work in housing. Everyone hear me still all right? Yes, good. Oh, thank you, Claire. So really you're supposed to talk about a book you love. So really quickly, The Go-Giver. Anyone hasn't read The Go-Giver, please read it. It's not a hugely academic book, but it's a very short read, a few hours at the most. And really what it told me was about the importance of giving to other people. So I try and give a lot to other people. And if you can read it, it will take a few hours, but it might change your life like it changed mine. And then you're also supposed to talk about people who inspire you. Very quickly, social housing, my A-team. So Alison Inman, the most inspirational human being on this earth, and my life has been a better one since I met her. She will hate that, and she will be cringing right now if she's watching, but it's true, so she's going to have to deal with it. Eileen Evans. Eileen is one of the most kind and generous people I have ever met, and a huge role model to me, and has invested a lot of time in me, and I can never really repay her for that. So thank you. I will say thank you now. And Adam Clark, many of you know Adam. Adam is my wingman. I am very, very lucky to work with Adam every single day. He supports me every single day, and is someone who's always there and encourages my craziness. He encourages my loudness. He encourages my passion. And you need those people in your day-to-day lives, and he does that. So I can't thank him enough. I'm going to talk about my connection to social housing. My first connection to social housing was I became homeless when I was 10. So my parents divorced, a relationship breakdown, and we were made homeless. We were in RAF housing, and we had to leave there. We were made homeless. I didn't know what social housing was at the time, but we moved in with my grandparents, who lived in social housing, in a housing association home, and that was really my first introduction to it. reflections on those times is really about the impact that it can have on family members when they're helping other people who are homeless. They made a huge sacrifice in moving bedrooms so that we had bedrooms, me and my brother, and it did have an impact on them. And I think at the time I don't reflect on that, but now that's certainly something that I think actually people try and do the best for their family and help them out, of course, so they don't have to stay in temporary accommodation. But I now look back and think actually there are some hidden reflections there about the sacrifices people make. So after that, we moved into our first council house. That took a lot of time. I remember my mum ringing the councils at the time. There was no choice-based lettings and saying, oh, where are we on the, when are we going to get an offer? When are we getting an offer? And actually, that being really important. And actually what she said was all I needed at that time was a house. And we got our first council house. And it was the start of opportunity for me. I had my own bedroom. When you've got a brother that's 2 years younger, that's a big thing when you're 10 years old. I got my own bedroom. I went to a permanent school. I had friends. I eventually went to college. It was the grounding for me to be able to do things. Talk about the challenges people have when they move into housing. I talked to my mum about it, and actually she said things like big things like carpets. That was really difficult for her to afford those, and that was the thing she needed help with at the time. So that kind of is something that I bring back to when we think about letting properties and what we can do to help people. So great opportunity for me. I didn't really know about housing though, so it comes into the question, how did you get into housing? And there is a certain sentence that my colleague Adam does not want me to say, how did I get into housing? So I've reshaped that. How I got into housing, I didn't have an informed choice to get into housing. That's how I'm going to shape it. It was not an informed choice because I didn't know about it. And actually, I think you get made very aware at school of careers in retail and careers in banking, which is where I did my work experience. At no point did anyone say to me, you could have a career in housing. And actually, for me, that's kind of the saddest thing ever, because if I'd missed out on my career in housing, I would have been devastated. So really a theme for me, and I'm going to talk about, is how we make sure that other people don't miss out on such a great career. Huge thing. So I didn't have an informed choice to make a choice to go into housing as a career, and we need to change that. My first job was at Broadland Housing. I've been here a very long time, not going to say how many years, although I might get some nice age compliments. So I started as the post girl in admin, in finance. I used to walk around the building 3 times a day, and I used to deliver people's post, take it internally to other people. No one had to get up from their desks. It was an amazing service. So would not happen now, but anyway. I got to walk around the building 3 times a day. I did that for about 5 years, and then actually what happened over that period of time was on my post round, I was gone for longer and longer periods of time, and what it was I was in the housing room. I was in the room where the frontline housing officers were, and I was watching and observing, and I was excited, and I wanted to be there, and I wanted to be talking to tenants. So eventually I think they did ask, where is she? Why is she taking so long? That's where I was. The filing was done in that room, so I would do everyone's filing in the whole organisation if they wanted, just so that I could be in that room with the housing team and hear what they were doing and talking to tenants. I loved it. So eventually I thought, right, I'm going to go for it. An internal opportunity came up for a housing officer job, and I took it, and I got it, and I was very lucky. And I think I realise now I was lucky because I didn't have the experience. And actually, if you look at recruitment policies today, not all of them, I know some people are very inventive, but if you look at some recruitment policies today, I wouldn't have made it through the current kind of shortlisting criteria in terms of experience, and that concerns me. I then moved on, so I became a team leader, I became a regional manager, area manager, whatever you want to call it. I've done lots of different jobs, and now I'm senior housing manager, which I love. I love my job. So I think my theme really is, and there's lots of work going on by Futures about the Careers Week, etc., and also around how do we get new people into the sector, or how do we get people into the sector generally. The £5 CIH offer is brilliant. I certainly would have took it. And actually, I think what we need to do is we need to just really make sure that we're getting those people into the sector so they don't miss out. So I think really it's coming in and saying it's all of our responsibility to plan succession. So am I concerned in 20 or 30 years who's going to be looking after Broadland tenants when I'm not in the sector? Of course I am. And actually I do feel that I've got a duty to make sure that happens. So I like to come along with a few ideas and not just go, oh, this is, this could be improved, etc. And I think actually for me, I quit the CIH membership. I tell myself, actually, would I pay for my own CIH membership if my organisation didn't pay for it? And absolutely I would. Absolutely, I want to be part of a professional body. Absolutely, I want to have a say in things like rethinking social housing. I want to be part of those conversations. So I thought, right, what can we do to get people into social housing if they are paying for their own membership, and actually making that commitment? What can we do to ensure that they get an opportunity? Because they may not make it through traditional shortlisting methods. And you'll all have lots of ideas, but I came up with a few myself. And one is that if somebody wants to have a job in housing, actually, they are committing to that by paying for their own membership out of their own money. What a huge commitment. Times are tight in terms of money. Then actually I think that organisations should automatically guarantee them an interview. We know at interviews people can shine. You can find those people skills that you need in housing. You totally see a different thing to what you do on an application. Absolutely. Let them come through and have an interview if they've paid for that membership and showed that commitment. I also think that we could do more in terms of making ourselves known. So open days, for instance. I went to open days in retail sectors. I went to open days to come and work in banking. No point did I get an invite to come into a housing association, see what they do, the great work they do. It would have been a no-brainer. I would have wanted to work there after 10 minutes. Open ourselves up, come and see what we do. Really, really important. Particularly not just to the younger people coming into the sector, but to people who may be in different roles, people who may be working in law firms or other things and have skills that they can bring into housing. Let them come and see what we do. There are people who do decide to change careers, and if they've got skills that we need in housing, we should welcome them. My third thing was, and I'm just trying to think really, my third thing really was, we talk about training and development a lot, and then going on a training course is only one way of developing yourself. There are many others, and I think certainly meeting other people in real life is a huge thing. So what I would say is actually, and I think there's such a great housing community out there. We're so supportive of each other. I've learned so much. Actually, that is personal development. So it's not all about going on training courses. Not at all. I think the one thing that I missed is... I did think about actually other people who decide to pay for their membership to try and get into housing. We should sponsor people. Someone gets a membership in your area and they're not in housing, sponsor them, get them to come in, meet people, see people. Slightly different open house, maybe a bit more one-on-one. But we should so do it, because actually we could, and we'd be really good at it. So the other thing is, I think about what I missed in my career. I've been very lucky. I have been hugely developed and hugely invested in, which I'm very grateful for. But the one thing I didn't get was the opportunity to see what goes on in other organisations. So I really, really, really would have liked the opportunity to swap and go into another organisation for 6 months to a year. And actually, I just really want to get some experience, take my idea somewhere else, someone else come in. I think it's great for the person, but it's so equally great for the organisation. Loads of people will say, no, we can't do it, and they'll think of 1,000,001 reasons why we can't do it, data protection, etc. Build it into your induction. Say to people here, we're really open. We really, really, really want to develop you, and that might mean we share you with another organisation. Wow, I would go, wow, that is great. So I really think that's something we could develop more of. I suppose just quickly, I'm conscious I should stop after 15 minutes. So a few more things. Just tenant engagement is part of my role. Hugely into tenant engagement, and I really think that it's really important not to think of tenants as the end user of a service, but to think of them as the designer of the service. That's where they should be if you're going to get it right. I really think Grenfell's taught us a lot, but it's taught us to be a listening landlord. So ask yourself that question: are you a listening landlord? It's great that we're selling ourselves in the sector now. I love it. I'm like, we can tell our story. That's hugely great stuff, but actually, are you telling the same story that your tenants are telling you? And they need to marry up. So that's really important to get that balance and make sure you've got the right message. What I was going to just say is the Benefit to Society campaign is fabulous. We're on it. I really love it. Everyone forgets to pay bills. Everyone forgets to turn up to appointments every now and again. I'm sure it's not just me. It might just be me. We're only human. That means we're not perfect. Where we live has nothing to do with that, and it should never be brought into it. So I think Benefit to Society, stereotyping, let's do more. What am I supposed to do now? I'm supposed to give people advice, which I find really odd. I'm giving people advice. So, okay, my advice is be kind. Try and always be kind. It's really important. That's only what you would want from other people. Invest in others. Go giver. Read it. I try and invest in others. I don't have as much time as I'd like to do it. Huge thing. Really, really rewarding. Be you. So always be you. Always be yourself. I am loud. I'm crazy. I'm very loud usually when I haven't lost my voice. Be loud if you want to be loud. Know when not to be as loud, but actually be loud. Be passionate. Don't lose your passion. Surround yourself with people who inspire your passion. That's really, really important. So I think that's all I'd say, really. Just that I really love the Twitter community and you're all really great and supportive. And actually this has been much easier than I thought. So I have to stop. I've run over 2 minutes. I need to stop. Is there any questions? And someone says at this point, you need to scroll down. So I'm going to scroll down. There's loads of you here. So I'm just looking for questions. I see loads of love hearts, which is lovely, but I'm conscious that I haven't gone, wow, love heart, that's so great. So people listening with headphones on, sat in traffic, oh wow, good, okay. A great example of hiring someone on attitude rather than skills. It's really important. Attitude will take you great places. Skills can be learned. Our responsibility, it really is, and we need to support the futures and CIH in doing that. I'll have to watch it back. Adam, can you see the scones? So it's scone for me, but that might be my kind of upbringing, but it's always a scone. My energy is a 10, it is, and I'm slightly off today, which is great. I love my passion. Totally agree. I think brilliant. Evie, lovely Evie. I need to meet Evie. I just feel like we'd explode together and have loads of ideas. Love this advice. Read The Go-Giver. Where next for me? I don't know is the answer. I have learned more in this role in the last 18 months than I ever have. I've been given a lot more freedom, and that has meant I've gone a bit crazy. I've got ideas. I've turned into a bit of an ideas person, which is really unusual. I don't know where next for me. I think I do know is it's going to need to be someone that's very tenant-focused. Morally, I'm very tenant-focused, very customer-focused. So it needs to be somewhere where that is driven through, where there is freedom. I'm totally got loads to do in my role, but certainly the next place would be where I can have the freedom, have the passion, be as loud as I want, and make good things happen, and not say can't. I'm very conscious that a few times recently I've said the word can't, and actually who says that? Who should say that? We teach younger generation not to say the word can't, and I don't know if it's an age thing. I said it a few times and then I stopped myself and went, whoa, why am I saying the word can't? And we shouldn't do that. We should actually say, do you know what, something might be a little bit difficult. It might take a bit of thinking about it. It might even take a plan. I'm sorry, Alison, when I said the word plan. It might take a plan, but we can make things happen. Us human beings are very resourceful people, and we can do whatever we need to do. It just might not always be easy. Evie, I think you brought in guys a massive example. Freedom to try things amazing. Thank you. It doesn't always work, but the main thing is it's really important to try stuff, or we're never going to move on. What are you most excited about over the next 12 months? Loving your tenant focus. Okay. That's why we do the job. That's why we're here. Am I excited about the 12 months? I'm excited about the tenant engagement being back on the agenda. I really think that it's going to be huge. People are talking about it. People who aren't normally talking about tenant engagement are talking about tenant engagement. I saw Jenny, lovely Jenny, the other night, and said to her how refreshing it is that people are talking about it. I hope there is more regulation around engagement, and that's really exciting. I'm looking forward to technology. I love technology. As long as I understand how it works, I love it. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to doing more, if I can, to help support getting people into housing. I think that's a huge thing. What else am I looking forward to? Trying some new stuff, and I think really the other thing is, I think one of the best things for me in terms of development and kind of broadening my horizons has been the housing community on Twitter. So I have loads of people that I want to meet, and actually I'm really in awe of the fact that, people have concerns about social media, but I'm really in awe of the fact that you can come on to Twitter and you can talk to people and you can have a bit of debate, and actually it's so supportive. People respect other people's opinions. You can learn so much. No longer do I have to go and sit in a meeting to learn whose ASB policy we can look at, etc. People are openly sharing stuff, and that's really great, particularly maybe when you're in parts of the country that, you know, are difficult to get in other parts, and it's just so easy, and I think it's a great thing. So I'm really looking forward to using more technology which will help us. Epic selfie this week. Who would you pick? See, I posted an epic sector selfie. Who would you pick? Oh my goodness. That's a good question. I'm thinking about that one. I don't want to answer it too quickly. What would the main differences be for you if you started as a housing officer today compared to 5 years ago? What are the main skills and attributes needed to get into housing as a career? So the main differences for me, housing officers now, I think they have much more technology at their disposal. I never had technology at my disposal. I would get in my old Metro and go out for days on end in my patch. I was in my patch more, I would say, than sometimes I feel people are at the minute. I also knew my customers a lot more because I was generic. So I did income as well as housing management, and that meant that I pretty much knew everything. Obviously, we have different teams dealing with different things now. So I'd say I probably knew my customers a lot more than possibly now. And yeah, I didn't have as much technology, very old school, a pen and paper, a really clapped out car. But you know what, the satisfaction is the same. I don't believe that that's any different, dealing with people then, dealing with people now. Skills and attributes, well, I don't know. I worked in finance and I didn't have any, apart from just like me, I didn't have any skills. I knew a bit about Broadland Housing because I'd worked in finance, but I knew nothing. I wouldn't get shortlisted today, is my honest opinion, unless I got through to interview, and then I think I could totally say, I need to do this and you need to let me do this because I love people and I want to. So I don't know that I would get through. Maybe if I'd had CIH membership before I applied for a job, that would make a difference. And yeah, I don't know really, because I didn't know that my experience in social housing, living in it, would in any way, I didn't know the two connected. I didn't know about housing associations, I only knew about local authorities, so I don't think I could even have used that to my benefit. But what I can say is I think it's about people. I think if you can talk to people, I think that you should work in housing. I think that's it. Treat people as you want to. I know we all say it, but that's what we all want out of life, is just to be treated as human beings. I'm looking forward to meeting Vicky. I can't wait to meet Vicky. So many people. Swim against the tide. Yeah, it's interesting. I really love that. And I heard one the other day, and it said, only dead fish go with the flow. And I really liked that. And not that it was about dead fish, but I loved it. I was like, oh, that's a lovely saying. And I think it's really important to take you outside of your comfort zone. And actually, what's the worst that can happen? If you do it on here, if you do it in the Twitter community, nothing bad's going to happen. You've all been lovely. I'm totally out of my comfort zone, and you're sending me hearts. So it's nothing, what's the worst that's going to happen? You might learn something from it, and that will be that I talk a lot. But that's fine, that's good. So that's that. What I would say as well, I suppose, if I've got some more time, I'm conscious of questions. I don't want to not miss anyone's questions, but I would come back to them if I haven't. I'm still thinking about Avies. What would I say? I'd also say that I'm very conscious that there are people in the sector and, my own organisation who don't do Twitter, and that's fine. I respect that everyone does Twitter. I don't do all social media, I only do very few. But really thinking about why those people maybe don't do it, and it might be it's not right for them, but how you introduce them into this amazing world of other people, and I think that's really, really important. When am I coming to Wales? I've never been to Wales. Oh my goodness, I need to come to Wales. I'm coming when you invite me. That's the right answer, I think. As soon as I'm invited, I'm coming. And that's the problem with doing this, is actually now I'm going to want to tour the country and meet all you lovely people, so I probably need to take a week off to do that. And meet all the people, because Twitter is great, it's fab, but actually I was lucky enough to go to the presidential dinner this week, huge honour, and I met some, settings, and I met some people I'd never met before. I met Julie Fadden, and I was starstruck. I was like, oh, look at all these people. It's like Hollywood for me. Like, it was better than the Oscars. I would turn down the Oscars to go to the presidential dinner. So it was amazing. I got to meet people, and it's just really important that actually you also try and meet people in real life, and I think that is really important as well. Evie loves me. I love Evie too. And see, I haven't even met her yet. That's amazing. Love listening to you today. Having known you for a very long time, learned something new about you. So that's lovely. And I didn't think that would be possible. I've known Katie for a very, very long time. So that's good. Now I'm wondering what I've said. So that's interesting. So encouraging other people in your organisation to know about what else is going on. And I think people have personal reasons they don't want to be on social media, and that's fine. But how do we tell them about this? How do we share it? And I think linking people up is really good. Great point about the application process. How do you think the application process could be improved to give others an opportunity to be considered? So I'm sure there are loads of people, and I'm very conscious I don't know about the great ways of recruiting out there. I personally, if I was applying for a job now, I would want to be able to submit a 3-minute video. I could cover the whole world in a 3-minute video. I feel I could sell my passion. I feel I could sell why I wanted the job. And I feel they might get to know me. And actually, people wouldn't get to know me from an application form. I'm not an application form person. I'm not an in-paper person. I'm an in-person person. So I think actually if I could do a video and submit it to my future employer and say, this is why you should employ me, I might even get through to that interview. That would be really good. I think that if you're going to use traditional shortlisting criteria, if you use the skills, the experience, if you continue to use the experience, there will be people out there who are destined to do the job, as I was, who won't get through. So I think you've got to just choose really. What do you want to do? Are you willing to miss those people? And if you are, then probably your processes now are fine. But if you're not, then change them, do something different. Excellent ideas, chance to sell your personal brand, not just the experience you have. Yeah, definitely. And people can see what they're getting, and that's really, really important. I've done a lot of shortlisting lately, and shortlisting kind of 40 applications at a time, and do you know what, I'm sure some of those people in there would have been brilliant, and unfortunately didn't make it through for experience. So but definitely if someone's committed to their CIH membership, they've made that personal commitment, give them a chance, give them an interview. I think we should all do that. I might try and get that done here. We should all do that. But other people will come up with other things. I have some ideas, but everyone else will. CIH, just to say that actually I don't think I made the best of my CIH membership. I think for too long I didn't really take the opportunity to use it as best, but now I am trying to do so. I did study, I am chartered. It took me 4 or 5 years. I didn't appreciate the time when I was up at 2 a.m. writing those essays about housing, what that really meant for me, and probably took it a bit for granted. But what I would say is actually I learned loads. I learned loads about the history of housing. I looked at things differently. I would not have done that. So whilst it may have been painful trying to hit those deadlines, not always doing it, I really, really am glad I did it. Love the webinars. Love the Member Monday. Big shout out, Futures Member Monday. I had a chance to do that. Fabulous. I loved it. The interaction, the fun. Everyone loves the 80s apparently, which is great for me. That was great. All the resources on there, brilliant. There's more to come this week, that's what they're saying. So I would say is make the most of your membership. Put some time in your diary. Do it with other people as well. Get people together. Go through CIH. What's on offer? Don't just say, I'm going to do it, and then don't do it. Commit yourselves to doing it. That's what I would say, is make the most of that. Great, the rethinking social housing thing as well. Get involved. Gotta go, but thank you. Oh, no worries, thank you for coming. Yay, CIH membership. Yep, and I'm not just saying that, it has lots to offer. So I'm up with my time. I think I've answered all the questions. If I haven't, I will come back to you. I have to say a massive, massive, massive thank you to you all. It's been an honour to sit here and talk to all of you for half an hour, and thank you so much, and I will hopefully see you all soon on my tour of the country to meet you all. Take care, good afternoons, bye.